MigaFX is a 100% generic solution. To make MigaFX function in various different proprietary installations, MigaFX exposes a set of public interfaces. And the interfaces makes it possible to implement different extensions specific to a given installation context. Let's start out with some very central extensions that also explains how MigaFX lives in relation to the source system and the target systems involved. It's not MigaFX that will extract data from the source system. Instead, MigaFX expects the data from the source system to be delivered in a set of files. And MigaFX will then load these files through a load extension. Now, MigaFX out of the box comes with quite a few implementations of these extensions to read various file formats. But you can implement your own extension to read yet other file formats. Likewise, it is not MigaFX that will be inserting data into your target system. Instead, MigaFX provides an unload interface that it will call to deliver the result of the migration. Now, MigaFX comes with a default implementation of this unload interface that will simply unload the business objects into a set of XML files. But you can implement your own extension to do otherwise. And then it's functionality surrounding the target system that is responsible for the final insert into the target system. As you've seen in earlier sketches, Studio is very dependent on information of the metadata in the source system and the target system. Studio will call an extension to load these metadata. Out of the box, we deliver an extension that will read the metadata from an Excel file, but you can implement your own extension, for instance, to read the metadata from the target system. And less common, you can also implement an extension to read metadata from the source system. In yet other sketches, we saw the value sets. One type of value set was a dynamic value set, and that means that MigaFX calls out through an interface to retrieve the data for the value set from an extension. We deliver an implementation here that will read the data from an Excel spreadsheet, but you can implement your own extension to get the data somewhere else. It's very common to write extensions that retrieve data from the target system to be used for validation purposes in the migration. As the migration is executing, if you want, you can implement an audit extension, and then MigaFX for every business object will give the business object to you, and the extension can then pick and choose data in the business object that it wants to deliver back to MigaFX as audit data. Now MigaFX is in charge of housekeeping, and that means if you iterate the same business object again, it's MigaFX that will purge the old audit data and store the new audit data for you. At the end of the day, when the iteration is finished, the same extension can receive all the audit data from MigaFX, and then you can send the data to other functionality of your own choice. For instance, to compare the audit data from the migration with other expectations for reconciliation purposes. Another extension point is the reject processing. In some instances, it's all very well and good that MigaFX rejects a business object, but something might have to be done in that case. A typical use case, if this is a bank migrating and an account with a lot of money on it is rejected, what's going to happen to the money? If you implement a reject extension, MigaFX will give you information of all the best business objects that were rejected, and then you can process it. For instance, place the money of the rejected account on an internal account in the receiving bank. Finally, it's possible to write your own jobs to be executed in the director job scheduling framework. So you can write jobs to be executed, and you can also write and implement panels that will be shown in the director UI for you to parameterize and submit your own jobs. I hope this gives you an impression of the wide range of extensibility points that makes MigaFX able to live as a generic solution in your specific installation context.